Alright guys, my name is Mike. This is my channel. And we talk about scrap metal. I show you guys a lot about scrap metal and everything. But this particular video, guys, we're going to be talking about scrap metal and how to get more of it and everything. So if you're interested in getting more scrap metal and getting some tips from a guy who's been doing it for about 25 years, stay tuned. A wise man once told me, once you know how to make money and work hard, you'll never be poor. Well, this is how I make my money. Alright guys, so today's video, like I said in the intro, we're going to be talking about scrap metal. Now I usually show you guys how I load things up. I mean, I'm already ready to get loaded up to the trailer. But a lot of people ask so many questions like, how do I get so much scrap metal? Well, the short answer is I work for it. You know, it doesn't just appear here. Well, it does. I'll show you something in a minute. But a lot of this stuff I work for, a lot of the contacts that I get all this metal from, has took me a long time, guys. So, it has not been an easy thing. It's not been a simple thing. You know, scrap metal is hard. Scrapping is hard. It's hard work. Like loading this stuff up yesterday really kicked my butt. But all this stuff doesn't just, you know, come overnight. Yeah, you might get one or two pickups, but everything is hard to do. Everything takes time. So I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to get more scrap metal, like all this stuff. This all came within one day. I went around and picked it up. But scrap metal does appear. Like, I had a guy call me, said he was going to drop off some gutters from a job he had, a contractor. So, he dropped off some gutters. So that was cool. You know, that was an easy freebie. I didn't even have to work for that. Now I could squish all that up and load it into the back of probably this truck today. I'll load it in the back of this one and I'll get rid of that. I have more aluminum back here, guys. So I'll do an aluminum run tomorrow. Along with, I have more metal to pick up from a farm that we're going to put on here from a horse farm. But alright guys, I'm going to turn this around now. Alright, so a couple tips and tricks I want to give you guys. You know, when I first started, there was no such thing as called social media. And it has gotten me pretty far in the last 7 or 8 years. It's made my business go up. You know, I've gotten in contact with, or people have gotten in contact with me from real estates for house cleanouts. And, hey, I got a refrigerator and a couple chairs I want to get rid of, which worked out great. You know, and they'll keep using you. And being reliable will help you get more metal and more material, guys. That's kind of the thing. But social media wasn't around. So I've said this in a couple other videos, but social media is what's going to help you get the bulk of your scrap metal right now. You can post on a lot of your community forums. What's happening in Wayne County? What's happening in Columbus, Ohio? Like, there's all different groups and stuff you could post. And there's different community groups. You know, some HOAs and communities have their own Facebook groups. Join them. If there's 4 or 5 big HOAs around you, join those groups. And put out there that you're taking free scrap metal. That's all it takes. You know? And just put a list, a description about what you take. So if you take, you know, if you want to take this and this and this, that's fine. But social media will be your #1 thing right now. That's going to get you the most scrap metal. That's what's going to help you the most out of anything right now. Okay? Now, number two thing is going to be your friends, neighbors, relatives, people you work with, if you're not doing this as a full-time thing. Relatives, neighbors, all those people. So, you could contact them people, or when you see them, hey, I'm doing scrap metal. Somebody always has something to get rid of, guys. I've said this numerous times in my videos. Everybody has something they want to get rid of. And you never know what you're going to get on that. So, you know, you might get some dirty appliances or broken down appliances. Or some gutters or a stove like this one here. You get a crummy stove. But then, you know, who knows? They might have a set of aluminum wheels. Like, these are Jeep wheels. I could probably resell these if I want. But I'm probably just going to let them go. I call it the Elsa. Let it go. But I get stuff all the time that people give me. I don't have anything here now, because I just took a bunch of stuff over to my buddy John. So anything I get something that's good, or say that has a value that can be resold instead of just scrap metal, I bring it to my buddy John. Like this ladder. Most of the stuff you see around, like this ladder, someone gave it to me. Perfectly good step ladder. I kept it because I don't have one. This dolly, perfectly good dolly. Needed air in the tires. This dolly I actually paid for. Like this nice heavy duty wheelbarrow. I've had this thing for like 10 years now. It's got a solid rubber tire on it. I got that for free. You know, this folding little giant ladders, like a $400 ladder. I've had that for 10 years. All these metal panelings, I just sold a bunch to a buddy of mine. The metal roof panels and these 2 foot wide or 1.5 foot wide roof panels, I just sold a bunch of them for $400, and that's all I have left. You know, somebody gave me these tires and wheels. They're ugly and probably never going to get resold. But I get a lot of patio chairs and sets and tables and all that stuff. Lawnmowers. I just brought all that stuff to my buddy John, which, was a good thing because he cleans the stuff up and he sells it, and I don't have to deal with it no more. So that's an extra avenue, revenue stream that I have, because now I don't have to deal with it. So that's another thing. So that's tip 3. It's not just scrap metal. You're going to get other stuff. And then tip 4 comes in. There's always odd jobs. So, you can make money scrapping. I mean, if you're an older guy and you don't want to do any other odd jobs, people ask me all the time, hey, Mike, do you know anybody who cuts grass? You know anybody who cuts grass? I can cut grass. Oh, I need some weed whacking done over here. Oh, I need some wood cut up in the woods. Can you... Oop. Sorry, new camera. Whoa, hey, whoa. Hey, do you know anybody who does gutters on houses? I mean, I've done gutter cleanings. This is all the stuff odd jobs that have come up. Hey, Mike, I got a couch and some other stuff. Can you throw away? I live out in the city. Most of these people in these communities and these HOAs and stuff, they can't burn garbage. What I usually do with couches, I take the cushions off and I cut a lot of fabric or foam off and burn the wood. And there's always a little bit of metal in there. Oh, I got a dresser. Can you get rid of? Yeah, I'll take it. $25. Oh yeah, that's great. So people are willing to pay to get rid of stuff. If you guys live in the city and you guys can put anything out by the garbage, this video is not for you. And this video is not going to be for the street strappers. If you live in cities or places that have full-time garbage pickup, you guys are a different breed. You guys got to do what's called street scrapping. You got to drive around on garbage day, and you have to, you got to be the firstest with the mostest, man. You got to get lucky. Drive around. But a lot of times, if you're known as the metal guy and you start getting a reputation, which that's the other thing. You got to build a good reputation with the community and people, because then they will use you and they won't really worry about it too much. People won't put it out by the road. Oh, I'm going to save it for Mike. And then you'll find out, people will drop stuff off to you, And the 5th thing, I think I'm on 5th thing. The 5th thing, all right, which you might think of, oh, well, it's not the most important. Everything here is important, because if you follow all these rules and steps, you can get hundreds of thousands of pounds of metal a year. I do almost 1 million pounds a year, guys, and I don't even do my cars anymore. See this big trailer I'm standing on? Let me flip this around. This big car trailer, now I just use it for when I have overflow for appliances. But I have a community cleanout, which I'm going to bring this trailer to. And the community's going to have dumpsters all lined up. So there'll be dumpster. And they come and bring me the metal. And I stack the metal on here. I just put this on here because I need to build a tombstone for the end of it. So by the end of the week, I got to make sure I have enough stuff, because we're going to fill this stuff up, which I'll have another video out this weekend, guys. So I bought this trailer for moving cars. I think I've only had 1 or 2 cars on this. I've moved more machines for people with side jobs than I put cars on this 24-foot trailer. I don't even use it for cars anymore. Whenever somebody says they have a free car, I call Johnny. So can you know anybody pay $200 for a car? I give him Johnny's number. And Johnny's been doing pretty good because we've been working together. And every time, if I need to get pulled out, like when I got stuck with the yellow truck. So, making friends and everything is another part of this business. There's a lot of scrap guys that call me there's a lot of scrap guys that call me, and they're like, hey, Mike, there's an older guy. He doesn't have a trailer. He's like, Mike, this guy's got 2 riding tractors. I said, okay, what does he want for him? Nothing. He just wants them gone. I'm like, all right. I'm like, meet me, or give me the address, send me the address, text it to me, and we'll go get it. So we go over there, I push him on there. The guy gives me $50. I handed him the $50 because I'm going to go out and resell those tractors. And both those tractors ran. One needed a battery, the other needed a deck spindle or something. They both ended up running after cleaning the carburetor and some stuff. So a lot of times you'll get stuff to resell is the big thing. That's what's going to give you your extra money than just on the scrap metal, because scrap metal varies widely by state. I've seen difference of almost $1 a pound on copper, and I've seen almost 5 to 6 cents difference on your tin shred stuff. Guys, so like washer machines, appliances, things like that. This is obviously your heavy short steel and cast iron mix. Some yards you can't mix cast iron. Some yards you can't mix galvanized. Your auto cast, your rotors and hubs, that's usually the best grade for the magnet steel, magnetic steel, I should say. But yeah, guys, you want to get a good reputation. You want people to like you. You don't want to come off as the meth head who picks up scrap metal in a neighborhood, because all that stuff, gets you bad reputation. And in business and in anything, if you're shady and you get a bad reputation, I can't stress this enough to you guys. If you guys get a bad reputation, nobody is going to use you. Nobody's going to want you around their house and their stuff. I have people that call me and I'm like, yeah, make a pile outside. I'll come by, pick it up, send me your address. They don't know me. And like the last guy I went to, somebody sent me a friend request. I'm like, I don't know who this person is. This guy Mike something. Okay. He gives me the address, said, yeah, I'll be there at this time. I was there around that time, and me and Lunchbox. So we go there and talking to the guy, and he's like, oh, I checked you up on Facebook before I even told you to come to my house. He checked up because he didn't want to he told me, he's like, I'm not just going to have any meth head show up in my house. He's like, because scrap metal guys, we all have a really bad rapport, and people just think they're all lowlifes and stuff, which is not the case. If you are, you are, but most times you're not. And most people comment on my videos all the time. Oh, another meth head. Oh, you're going to have meth for days. I'm so sick and tired of it. Like, I don't consider myself a scrapper. I'm a businessman. And now I'm technically a content creator. And I never wanted it to be that way. It never turned out that way. But I did this to start helping people out and to do things for people. And I just had a guy the other day say, oh, you inspired me to go in my shed and start ripping apart some brass and copper I had. Oh, but it beat my hands up. It does. And this stuff is not for the weak. And, you don't need... Hold on. You don't need $5,000 trailer. You don't need $6,000, $7,000 trailer. You don't need, when this truck was new now, not anymore, you don't need a $50,000 truck. You don't need a $10,000 used truck that you bought because you wrecked this one. It's kind of a backstory. But, this truck's got the lift gate on it, which is awesome, which makes life so much easier, which stopped working on me the other day. One of my wires was frayed. I touched it and it broke. So we had a little bit of a breakdown, and we had what's called an anomaly yesterday. But, you will get scrap metal. And you have to learn the grades. Stainless steel. Magnet doesn't stick to it, it's worth more money. Those are your sealed units that come out of air conditioners, water heaters, not water heaters, air conditioners, and dehumidifiers, refrigerators. Like this one. This is an ice machine. See? It's got the big sealed unit in it. It might have some other copper and stuff on there. But with copper prices the way they are, you want to get to as much copper as possible. Aluminum gutters. My price right now is 60 cents a pound for aluminum. This is all aluminum dirty cast engine blocks. That's clean aluminum cast. You see I got some aluminum rads right there. Everything has a different price. Which leads me on to the sixth thing. Education and knowing what you have. Not everybody knows what this stuff is. And on the scrap forums, there's scrap forums all over Facebook and stuff that you can join. And people ask questions all the time. Oh, what are these? What are that? Did you know that keys are brass? Like your house key? They're brass. I knew that. But this guy didn't know that. And I'm like, you didn't know that keys were brass? Like, you throw them in your clean yellow brass bucket. He didn't know that. He's like, I've been throwing them out for years. I'm like, there's so many things that I didn't know and that I threw out when I first started, or I didn't have time to clean. which leads me to so what are we on, 7? Which leads me to the 7th thing. All right, 7 things, guys. This one is identifying and sorting your scrap metal. Like I was just showing you, stainless steel, I got in a different bucket. Aluminum, you know, you have to be able to clean things and take things apart and have the ability. So you're going to need small hand tools, a drill, you know, vice grips, pliers, cutting pliers, or some people call them dikes. Don't demonetize me, neighbors. So, you know, a small amount of hand tools, a socket set, some ratchets, water heaters, or water heaters, plumbing wrenches, and stuff, you know, if you get water heaters, you take the brass valves and stuff off. I actually have a video on cleaning them. It's real simple. You just cut down through the top, slice it, and then pop the spring out, because there's a spring in there that's magnetic, and they won't buy them for clean brass price. But that is a number one important thing. It's called upgrading your material. So what you want to do, guys, is if you don't know something, ask somebody. Us scrap guys will help you guys out. New guys out there, or people, you know, that are just starting out, real fart. We'll always help you guys. Like, there's a couple scrappers in my town that all know me as one of the bigger guys. And there's another guy that does even more than me, but he buys scrap. See, that's the thing. Everything you see here is not bought. Everything you see here is that someone gave me for free. Everything. I mean, the shed I bought, but the scrap metal, well, that came from a customer. But all this scrap metal, guys, hold on. All this scrap metal came for free. I didn't pay for this. You know, there's guys out there that are buying the scrap, and they pay for rotors, and they'll pay so much for appliances or air conditioners, you know, stuff like that. See, I don't do that, guys. I have so much stuff given to me, you know, and I just got to go pick it up is the number one thing. So, you know, there is people that do more scrap metal than me, and there's always going to be somebody more than you. But most of them guys, you know, they have, you know, big piece of property. They can store the stuff, sell it to the highest bidder, you know, wait for the prices to go up. That's a whole other game. You know, there's a lot of informational videos out there. And I hope this video is just going to help you think about it and reach the conclusion that you have to go seeking things. You know, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have YouTube, guys. Like, I couldn't YouTube videos on how to fix things and how to rip things apart and how to grade copper. You got number 1, number 2, what's considered bare bright, what's red brass, what's yellow brass. You know, there's so many different things to know. And if you don't know it, then you're going to keep cheating yourself. Because if you're picking the material up, you're doing all the work, going around, picking the stuff up, cutting the cords off of things, and you know, knowing the different grades of wire and things like that. Sun's coming up. I hate that. I'll move over here. But, you know, that's what's going to make you the most money, is knowing and identifying the material and having the tools to strip it out. All right? So now, 8. Number 8. I'm holding the camera so I can't do it. But number 8, which is probably one of the things that nobody thinks about, and one of the things that I only started to do and talk to about people. I mean, not talk to people, but I suggested to them, and some of the people have been scrappers for years. Okay, so say you have a whole bunch of aluminum wheels. Say you got 50 aluminum wheels, and you go to your normal scrap guy. You got a scrap yard. He's close to you. You know, he treats you good. He pays you cash. You know, he doesn't really bitch about anything. And he's 10 minutes from your house. And he's like, yeah, I'll give you 50 cents a pound for your aluminum wheels. You got 100 of them, say. Oh, he gave me 50 cents a pound. But Joe Blow, over here, 20 miles away, said, hey, I'll give you 80 cents a pound for those wheels. Are you going to sell them to your normal guy, or are you going to go sell them to his guy? So you're going to go to that guy, like, hey, if you pay me cash, I'll bring you those. So that's the other thing. Don't hesitate to travel a little bit further. I know if you got a crappy truck, or, you know, if you're having issues or whatever, you can... You want to stick with one yard. I was loyal to one yard for a long time, and I usually pretty much am. But now there's a couple yards I deal with, and I always call them, hey, what's your price on this? So this, you know, 8 is selling to the highest bidder. Look, you're working for the material. You're doing the work, okay? You're doing all the work. Why are you going to cheat yourself? Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. You know, Go out there and call the other yards. Hey, you know, buy yourself a small scale. I keep saying this in my videos because I found this to be a better way for me too. Buy a small scale. On Amazon, there's one. I should find out a way to post a link. I don't know how to do that. But, you know, if you look on there, it's a package scale. It's blue. I think it's like $28. A couple people have bought it. It's small. You can put you got a 5-gallon bucket of brass, put it on there. Oh, it's 80 pounds. You know, you got 30 buckets, weigh it all up. And then you could call around and be like, hey, I have 500 pounds of yellow brass. What will you pay me? That's what you have to start doing. You know, you could be a scrapper or you could be a businessman. Like I said, I'm a businessman. I'm not a scrapper no more. I sell to whoever around's going to pay me the most. I had people offer to come to my house to pick the stuff up, where I don't even have to haul it. Like the rotors. The guy's like, I'll give you, what did he say? I think he said he'll give me 14 cents a pound for the rotors. At my yard, and that's more than what I would get at my current yard because the prices on the metal is low. That's why there's such piles here, because I've been holding. So what's happening is, you know, the metal market is very weird and it's up and down. I don't really know what's going on. You know, people ask me all the time. I'm like, I'm not a metal analyst. I don't know what's going on, guys. If I knew, I wouldn't be a scrapper. I'd be on the stock market doing things. I'm not a metal analyst. I don't do this stuff. I'm a scrap guy. But, you know, with everybody I talk to and the videos I watch and the things I look at, you know, I have come to realize that there's no rhyme and reason to it. It's random. It's random. Unless it's a supply, everybody's a supply and demand thing. It makes no sense to me. I think that, you know, what I've always noticed is the prices on election year are low, and then usually after an election, everything goes up. And it don't matter, Republican, Democrat, whatever, it doesn't matter. You know, election years are usually always stale, flat years. Now, I don't know why the copper's been so high. I know why, because China and India have been buying a lot of metal. That's what I've gotten the word from. That's everything I've read. You know, and I had a guy say, oh, well, don't believe everything you read on the internet. What am I supposed to read then? I'm reading stock things and like metal analysts and reading what's going on in the economies in other countries. That's how I'm making my predictions. And that's what stock analysts and stuff do. They don't know. They're not on the forefront. They're on the forefront. Yeah, they're doing the same thing that I'm trying to do. It's just they might be more into that game and they might have some insider things. So, yeah, I mean, no, you're never going to know the metal market. And if you did, you wouldn't be a scrapper. You'd be an analyst. You'd be a market analyst. You'd be on the stock market, and you'd be making a hell of a lot more money than you could throw in rotors and shit. So I'm just going to put that out there. All right. So the ninth thing, okay, is, what could 9 be? Let's see. Oh, 9 things. We're on number 9. 9 is just having the ability to talk to people, okay? Now, you have to have a cell phone, communication. Cell phones, everybody has a cell phone, and they're usually all smartphones. Even you older guys that want to hang on to your old flip-style phones, you got to get a smartphone. Because people can call, they can text you. Most people don't even call me anymore, they text me. Hey, Mike, I have scrapped this. And you know what I say? Yeah, sure, I can pick it up tomorrow, or I can pick it up later today at 12 o'clock. Can you send me a text message? Can you have the stuff out of the house? Yeah, the stuff's out. It's in the driveway. All right, and they send you a picture. Hey, it's a washer, dryer, blah, blah, blah. Now you know what you're getting into. Now you know, oh, shit, it's one of them heavy-ass front loads. Or, oh, man, maybe I should bring a dolly. Or, hey, maybe I should grab my wife or grab my friend or my brother or to help me load that up because I can't get that in the back of my truck. You know what I mean? Oh, they have one of them heavy smokers. Man, how am I going to fit all this stuff in? You see what I'm saying? So that's the other thing is being prepared and having the right tools to make money. Like your cell phone is going to be your number one tool. It's going to be even better than your truck and everything. So that's number 9. So number 10, I just thought of it. Let me get it back in my head. Number 10, guys. What's the number 10 going to be? Number 10. I just thought of it. Oh. Number 10. Which probably should have been a little bit higher. Is going to be called being reliable. You know, when somebody calls you and they say, hey, Mike, I got this stuff to get picked up. Or, hey, can you come over and grab this stuff? Yeah, yeah. And you say, yeah, I'll be over there on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Does that work? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then you don't show up. And then 2 days goes by. You don't call them or text them or none. Then you randomly just show up. They're going to be like, WTF. You know what I mean? Or don't answer your phone. If you don't answer your phone, people tag me and stuff on Facebook all the time. I get tagged in things all the time. And everybody's like, oh, you never called me back. Or, oh, that Mike guy never messaged me back. I get 10, 15 text messages, 10, 20 calls, and probably 150 things a week I get tagged in on Facebook. And sometimes, you know, I don't know exactly where they're at, and they might be a half hour away. I'm not going a half hour away to pick up a barbecue grill. Or, oh, I have some bicycles. I'm not going there to do that. So, you know, I'll tell them, hey, you're too far away. But, you know, a lot of times I just can't get to everybody. And I know that you guys are like, oh, I wish I had that problem. No, because then you start getting a bad reputation because people are like, oh, that Mike guy, you know, he never answers his phone call. I called him 6 times, or, hey, you know, 10 people tagged him on Facebook, and he didn't even comment back because I knew I couldn't do it. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to have to make excuses to everybody. You know, I can't sit here and make excuses and say, oh yeah, tell people, yeah, I have too much work, I can't go get it, or hey, that's not worth my time. It's only $2 worth of scrap. Real fart. Oh, you know, so those are just a couple tips and things that I wanted to tell you guys. You know, just put yourself out there, be reliable is how it comes down to be. You know, you want to be known as the metal guy in your town. You don't want to be known as the meth head who steals shit. And that's the other thing. Don't be stealing things. You get a bad reputation, nobody will use you. There's a guy in the same township as I live in. He was burning copper wire. He was stealing things. He went to jail for ripping copper out of a house. And he's back in the neighborhood. I just found out about a year ago. And he's like, oh, the so-and-so buys those air conditioners. I'm like, you sell him to that frickin' meth head? I'm like, he went to jail for stealing. Like, he stole from his own mom. You know, the guy's a piece of trash. And you sell him your scrap metal? I'm like, eventually he's just going to start stealing it because that's what he is. He's a thief. The guy's a thief. He's been in and out of jail. He stole from his own parents. What do you think he's going to do? So I tell people like, oh, so-and-so is going to come get it. And I'm like, good luck with that. You want him showing up to your house when he's a known criminal and, you know, he's already stolen stuff forever? Like, come on. You know, don't get that reputation. Don't be that guy. All right. So I hope you liked my video. I'm getting ready to tie this stuff down. Go to the scrapyard, guys. I really hope that I helped you guys. If you have any comments or questions, put them in the comment section. You know, if you're not a subscriber and you like what I said and you want more information, you want to see how I scrap and what I do on a daily basis, so hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon also, and you can get notifications every time I post a video. Some people said they're not getting my notifications. I think YouTube has been hating on me lately, which I already think they've stunted my growth a long time ago. But yeah, I don't have my helper today. I'm probably going to have Joe over here help me load this aluminum and make a load tomorrow, just so, you know, I have a short week this week. We got a lot of things going on, a lot of craziness and everything. But yeah, guys, I want to alliterate. You know, just be reliable and try to present yourself as a professional. Even though, you know, scrap metal is not a profession, it actually is. And, you know, a lot of times, you know, you're selling yourself. If you come off reliable, you know, it doesn't matter if you're wearing a dirty shirt. It doesn't matter. You know, when I first bought this truck, I paid like $60-something thousand for this truck. Now, this F-250 here. People were calling me, and I'm going to their house, and they see a scrap guy show up with a brand new truck and a trailer, and they're like, can I help you? And I'm like, yeah, I'm Mike, the scrap guy. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm the scrap guy. You called me? They're like, what scrap guy drives a brand new truck? And I'm like, what does that tell you? I buy nice new things, and I have nice things because I'm making a decent amount of money. I'm making a living. Everything you see around me, my house, the shed, the trucks, everything's paid for. Everything's cash. My camper's the only thing I have a loan on, and my My wife's car's a lease. Her brand new Honda. Some of you guys that watch me know my wife's got that awesome Honda Accord hybrid. You know, everything you see around me is bought and paid for. How could I be doing that if I was dishonest and shady? You couldn't. But all right, guys. I'm going to say peace. And remember, it's not a job. It's a fucking adventure. And go out there and get your adventure. And if you have any questions or comments, put them in the bottom section. And at the end of the video here, I'll post a picture of me cleaning those water valves. It's just a short. It'll be at the end of the video here. So I'll show you how I clean them and clean the steel out of them. But all right, guys. I hope I'll see you in the next video. Wah! This is what we're going to be cleaning today. These pressure release valves. Take your sawzall. Cut the top off. Make a little cut down the top. Take your big screwdriver, smash it in there. Pop it right off. And then take it out of the vise. I want to show you one thing. That's a piece of brass. And you just tap this piece out, which is going to be a pain in the butt. Come on. That's number 2 copper. And then there's your brass piece all cleaned out.